continental convergence, we have a Himalaya. Okay, now let's move ahead and talk about this set of divergence. So whenever two plates are moving away from each other because of the operating events are led to the divergence, those plates could be continental. So here what we can say that whenever we have a oceanic divergence, each oceanic divergence, due to the oceanic divergence, I hope remember that is an aspect or seafloor spreading theory, or that would ultimately lead to the volcanic activity, including earthquake as well. Earthquake will also be there. Here, if you see, for instance, here, divergence. So as a result of this divergence, what will happen? Plates will move away. Why? Because the mantle operating as a result solidify as it solidify. When there is addition, all they will addition means we will have a box. Parallelly, we will have an earthquake as well, and the plate will go have what ridges. Ridges will yes, could have volcanoes. Those at the bottom of formation of in this way merged. That is also the island. Example. Here you will see an island. This Iceland is means suppose this is the mid-oceanic ridge. We may have currents. This we have intensification. Further, let's say it might be a intense. Because of its intensification, we could have a solidification. Result of this, say it out actually lift up from the from top. It appears like how we could here we have a one. Okay. So in case of divergence plate boundary movement, we will have these factors or these to form. And guys, when it comes to the appearance of these mountains, that okay, they are like the evidences with respect to the plate tectonic. Whenever we have a continental divergence as a result of continental volcanism will be there, and faults we'll have a later, we're going to see about the in earthquake. We're going to suppose we have a continental as a result of this, what of here we will have what apart from the rift valley, we may mechanism parallel, and we may have some sort of mechanism, or we may have a now just see you might have seen this about Africa's map. See this. So in this Africa's map, here you will have a divergence. There is a continental divergence. As a result of this continental here we have some sort of Kilimanjaro volcano is there, and similarly what is happening that apart from the Kilimanjaro volcanoes, we also have a rift valley like is a deep depressions here. As a result of this deep depression, what we can say that part of Africa is actually splitting nowadays. It is happening right now as well. We are taking these, so you are there in these, so questions are, the vertical, you can say vertical valley which has, and it is visible. Some other day there is a one visible part of depression aligned in this way, actually separating the two parts of continent. That is an example. The Rift Valley will be whenever there is divergence. We could have a volcanic activity, part of faulting. But just remember that we have a continent divergence. In that case, moving ahead, we may have a transform plate boundary movement. Now you might ask one question, that why you didn't included oceanic and continental divergence, because practically on our earth's surface we don't have this, actually we, as this kind of not there, didn't get. That's why I'm telling reason I didn't included oceanic and continental divergence is this pattern of oceanic and continental plate not well observed, not observed categorically. It is not. Transform plate boundary movement. This transform plate boundary movement, what is happening? That we might have a like a oceanic or continental plate which might slide over each other. As a result of this, earthquake will be there. Linear valleys will be formed, or strike slip fault. I told you regarding the faults, to clarity. Okay, fault itself is a subtopic all concept, and I'm going to tell you there. And then fault here. We might have a oceanic and continental kind of sliding parallel to each other. But we have seen this in the North Anatolian plate, Turkey. You might have heard that in Turkey we have earthquake because of these faults. Have earthquake. So horizontal displacement is there, and as a result of this horizontal displacement, they have a mid-oceanic region. Regarding fault, I'll give. All right. Here you can have this strike slip fault, the fault example. Here you can see North American plate. Here you will see they have a kind of interaction parallel to each other. This, when we have a oceanic and continental plates when back together, as a result of this, first of all, here you see that we earthquake here. Here we have observed earthquake. Okay. In San Andreas, we have observed one of the strongest earthquake have observed as of strongest earthquake. And yes, we might have some shallow volcanism. As far as the kind of transform boundary could have this kind. Yes, the